Hi, guys. Hope you're doing well today. This is Fred and Sheila with Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures and FS Investigates.
Hey, guys, it's Fred and Sheila. Thanks for joining us. Guys, this is probably going to be our last video for a while on Sebastian. Yeah. We're going to do this video. We're going to slow the pace a little bit, and we're going to answer some of your questions, some of your comments to the best of our ability, so you may understand them a little bit better. We're going to slow it down. You know, an investigation is like skinning a catfish. There's so many ways to skin a catfish.
Okay.
The end result of skinning a catfish is you've got a skinned fish ready to fry. Don't matter how you got there. What matters is that your fish is cleaned, it's skinned, it's ready to fry. And that's the way an investigation is. And that's what Sheila and I do when we work on these things. The main component of mine and Sheila's investigations anymore is not Sheila and I's thoughts or our great minds, because we don't have them. Right. We're nobodies. We count on the good Lord. And that's what we're counting on here. And as we go through it, we'll touch on some of those things. But right now, Sheila's going to play you a video or audio.
Okay. Let me find it down here.
Setting missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male is not in the bed. Male white male, 30 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. Going to be wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in a home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
10-4 around.
37. I asked the call taker to ask if the juvenile has a gun. Great. Central to 68. I am Mrs. Fire call.
It is.
Central to 47-180, 412. Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in a Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
In the area. Check long hauls out, just same way.
You can take me off the assist fire. I'll be en route to the missing juvenile.
Next big track back up, going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach.
That's the one behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on.
Dang it, this is all dry, hard packed. I do have some footprints over here.
Right there where you're standing?
Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond.
No shoes, just footprints?
The shoes that Max went straight into the pond. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Over behind Willow Boulevard, he dove right into the water.
Yeah, do you see any prints around it?
There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt headed straight this way on the track that he was running.
George 47, what kind of shoe does he wear? Size 10. To any units that are going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please.
Yeah, that's what that was, is a summary of the initial call. The call going out, the officer receiving the call and responding to the call.
Right.
They're on the scene. They're actually searching with the dog. He says that he went to the retention pond. Officer asks him if he sees any footprints. He says it's dry. And then he says he sees footprints. And then one of them asked what kind of shoes he had on. Well, he's barefooted. So what you should see is a foot and 5 toes. You know, one thing Sheila and I discussed earlier, and that's the fact that I hope they got pictures of these footprints, because he said there was footprints there at the scene. And he said, well, there was footprints I seen on the way up through here. I hope they got pictures, because that would definitely coincide with somebody running, with Sebastian running barefooted. How many barefooted kids are out there making footprints in the grass or the mud? Because if there's not, you know, I talked before about people with dogs and how they alert and how they could mistake an alert, how they could, if they didn't know their dog's behavior that well, they could assume one thing, but it'd be something else. Did the dog jump in the water because the dog was thirsty or hot or wanted to play, or because there was nothing in that retention pond? If you'll remember, when they searched the pond, there was nothing there, right, babe?
Right. They said it was clear or whatever.
So why would that dog alert to the pond and nothing there? Now, why I'm saying all this for is, as an investigator, because we've had reports of garbage trucks, we've had reports of flashlights, we've had reports of a car parked down below on another street. We've had reports that he never came home. He wasn't in the vehicle with Katie when she got home from the steakhouse. We've had all kinds of different reports, scenarios that this could be, that he just run off and left. But by this officer saying that he's got footprints up there and the dog tracked him to there, it's one thing to say the dog tracked him, because maybe the officers misread, maybe the dog's on the wrong scent. But when he says, yeah, we found barefoot footprints, if he did, then you put those 2 or 3 things together and you've got something. But if you don't have all of those elements, the scent, the tracking, the alert, and the barefooted, not footprints. Somebody says, what size shoe was he wearing? You've said you've seen a footprint. A footprint is a footprint, not a shoe print. And then asked, what size shoe?
Yeah, who was he talking to there? Was he talking to the guy with the dog? Or?
I don't know if that was the guy, the dog handler, talking to the other officer, or vice versa. Doesn't matter. There's some questions. He says he's seen a footprint, but he's asking what size shoe he had on.
Yeah. So that's what I was wondering.
So it could really be confusing to an investigation. You'll see why as we go along here. Guys, we're going to slow things down on this video. Like I said earlier, this is not one of those where we're trying to push stuff out. We're trying to get this one alarmed, that one alarmed. We're trying to, there's different techniques and investigative skills that every investigator has. Now, I spent 40 years as a police officer. In those 40 years, I had my share of interrogations, interviews, and whatever you want to call it, with other people, with suspects, with people that were guilty and people that were innocent of things. And you just have to question until you feel comfortable that you're getting the truth and so forth. One thing Sheila and I do want to say at this point is, if you've got any tips, don't send them to us. Somebody wanted our email. I had a couple people wanted our email to send us some stuff. Please don't send it to us. We're nobodies. We're not police officers anymore. We're not private detectives, private investigators. We are YouTubers. We are Christians in search of that little soul right there. If you get anything, any kind of evidence that you need to turn over, call the Sumner County Sheriff's Department. Call the TBI or call the FBI. They'll make sure it gets to the right place, but don't send it to us. Thank you, though, but
we appreciate it. But
we are nothing special. We are relying on God to lead us and you and the police. Guys, if we pray hard enough, God's going to bring that little fella home. There's nothing that beats prayer. You pray, 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 and finally God says, hey, I'll answer their prayers.
Yeah.
There's enough of them. I'll answer their prayers. I'll give them closure. It may not be the closure that we dream of or we want, where Sebastian comes walking in the door,
Yeah.
but we can have closure that we know that he's had a decent burial or returned home.
That's right.
And relying on the guilty parties to do the right thing. Sheila had said something earlier about this, that we do. We rely on the guilty party or parties.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes God lets things go. We were talking, Sheila, about the arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was complaining in one of the comments, why hasn't the police made an arrest yet? Maybe it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
Maybe God has given the guilty party or parties enough time to say to themselves, we got to do the right thing. Our conscience is bothering us.
Mm-hmm.
Our conscience.
Well, it'd be better on them if they came clean, the person or the party who's involved. It would be better on them if they come clean on told everything
on their own
versus the investigators finding out and then confronting them that way.
Well, like that, at least they can, if they decide to come clean, they can always get them a good defense attorney.
Yeah.
And this very well, Sheila, like you said, could be an accident.
Yeah.
It could be carelessness, recklessness, negligence.
Yeah.
But it could be an accident.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know that Sebastian got a little bit rambunctious every now and then. He got nervous. And maybe him and his mother there by themselves could have. Guys, I talk hypothetically. Once again, Sheila and I don't want to accuse nobody, and we don't think we have, but just because we mention people's name or scenarios or things like that doesn't mean we're accusing anybody. We're talking hypothetically. And you know, they've not talked to us. Nobody's talked to us.
Right.
So sometimes lack of information leads to speculation. And sometimes that's what I do.
Sure.
But what if that was an accident? What if he fell and bumped his head? And then somebody panics?
Mm-hmm.
Who of us out there has never done nothing in life where we panic? Somebody say, what'd you do that for? I don't know. I just panicked.
Right.
It happens.
Sure.
The main thing is that we correct our mistakes, that we're held accountable for our mistakes, and then we go on and do better.
Yep.
Let them correct a wrong on their own, is what Sheila said. Hopefully they'll correct. If somebody's listening to us that had anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance, hopefully they'll correct it on their own. They'll say, hey, let's get us a good defense attorney. Let's let him talk to the prosecutor and see what we can work out here so we can have closure with all this.
Right.
Not because they have to, but because they want to. Because they don't have to. As of right now, there's no body. There's no witnesses. There's no confession. As of right now, they've got away with it. Now, somebody asked earlier, and they said, why hasn't the sheriff's office arrested somebody already? This person was on these YouTube channels, and he said this, this, and this, and it's not hard to tell that he's lying. Guys, that's called circumstantial evidence.
Okay.
I'm not saying you can't charge somebody with circumstantial evidence, but there's nothing that beats a confession or eyewitness or physical evidence, such as a body. It may come down to the point where the sheriff or somebody has to charge somebody on circumstantial evidence. They may end up charging just on some of those things that they've heard, or the discrepancies are so many that they can build a case with them. But don't blame them for taking their time and trying to work up a good case where they can have such rock hard, solid case that this person says, or the defense attorney says, we can't stand trial. There's no need to stand in trial. They got you dead to right.
It's overwhelming.
Overwhelming evidence. They've got you. We got to plead this out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what good police officers, good detectives, that's what you want. You want to have so much evidence, so overwhelming,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't even have to go to trial. They're going to plead out.
Okay. Didn't you have a story that happened like that?
Forgot that one. And that's what we was.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, investigators, it takes years and years and years and hundreds of investigations to get used to people's demeanors, get used to people's body language, and you can still get fooled.
Yeah.
I was telling Sheila earlier, I worked a case, well, she remembers it, but worked a case where this guy had set fire to his business for insurance purposes. And it was on a holiday weekend, responded and asked him when he was there last. This was on a Saturday afternoon. And he said, not since he was there last night, when he closed on Friday evening. And I said, okay. And while we're standing there talking, I happened to glance across the street. When I glance across the street, I see the bank. The bank's directly across the street from his business.
Mm-hmm.
Got cameras on every corner and on the drive-through. This happened to be a holiday weekend, so I had to wait. Monday was a holiday. I had to wait till Tuesday, and it about killed me. I waited all weekend. I went and got to the bank, and I got the footage of the fire. And I called the guy to the police station. He come down that afternoon, and I said, I'm just closing up on my case here, report.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to ask you a couple of things over again to make sure I understand you correctly. When was the last time you were at your business? When I left 5 o'clock Friday evening, the last time I was there. I said, okay. I didn't go back. No, I didn't go back. I talk about other things and keep them going. And had I not known what I know, I would have thought the guy's telling the truth. He was that cool.
Because he forgot about the cameras, though.
He didn't know about the cameras.
Yeah.
I took the CD out of my book and I put it into the computer and I hit play.
Mm-hmm.
And at 12:15 or whatever time it was, you see this Escalade pull up to his business. You see him get out, runs in his business. He's in there for about 3 minutes, runs back out, gets in his vehicle, drives off. The camera's showing. All of a sudden, you start seeing smoke bellowing out from underneath the eaves of the business. I played that for him.
Oh.
I said, what about this? I had them. Many, many, many cases similar to that. But how, as an investigator, you've got to think outside the box and you've got to do things. Now, again, that guy, had I not had that CD, that bank camera, I would have believed everything he said. He was that good.
He was that
and
convincing.
They are people, huh?
He was that convincing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was that convincing that I wouldn't have doubted him. And him, a businessman. Are you really going to point the finger? Are you really going to go after him?
Mm-hmm.
Since parties are not talking to us, we have to rely on our investigative skills and God. Forget the investigative skills, guys. Right now, in the cases Sheila and I work now as YouTubers and as Christians, nothing but God, nothing but the good Lord. When Sheila and I get on these, we sleep very little. We sleep very little because we're got back pain and knee pain and aches and pains and getting old. But sometimes we'll be sleeping and finally fall asleep and something will wake us up out of the blue with something that we no more thought about than nothing in the world.
Yeah.
And we'll get up, and start talking about it.
And sometimes we're thinking about the same thing, though.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Because you'll say, that's what I was just thinking about.
Yeah. And that's how it works. That's how these cases, this is not Sheila and I. Sheila and I don't do nothing special. We wait on God to put it on our heart. Yeah. And I know that's hard for some people to understand maybe, but it's called faith. And he says, if you've got the faith of a mustard seed, which is the size of a little flea, you can move mountains. We don't care about moving mountains.
Right.
But we want to help find that little fella right there. And guys, you can take it to the bank. Watch her smile. She knows it. You can take it to the bank. God is going to show us where he's at, or somebody. He don't have to show us.
Yeah.
We don't have to be eyes on.
Right.
Feet on the ground. We don't have to be there. We don't have to be 1,000 miles away. He's going to show somebody, or somebody is going to show the police
right
where he's at. They may not find him the way we want to find him, but we'll have closure. There's other retired police officers out there. Help us. We're asking for your help. Guys, there's not just other police officers out there. There's YouTubers. There's good investigators that's out there. But all you retired officers that worked years and years, and you can't, the old saying, the more you do it, the better you get at it. That's been a cop. The more you question somebody, the more you interrogate somebody, the more you question somebody or interview them, the better you get. Just like an attorney, when he builds a case to prosecute you on the stand, and he starts from one block to another block to another. You know, the sad thing about this is Sheila and I have never got off the parents.
Right.
Now, in cases like this, the suspects, when a missing child comes up, your main suspect is the parents. Just the way it is, the way it's always going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I do know, but I'd rather tell it and be wrong. I know it's over 50%. Over 50% of the cases where a child comes up missing, it involves the parents or a guardian.
Family member.
Yeah. Caretaker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it is. Now, usually you get rid of the parents. The parents are gone. You rule them out. Innocent. Nothing to see here, brother. In this case, that's not happened. We don't know why, but the sheriff in this case says that nobody has been ruled out.
Yep.
Now, I'm getting ahead of myself in my notes, but down through here somewhere, you'll hear people say, this sheriff, he's friends with the Proudfoots. This sheriff's friends with the Proudfoots. He's friends with the family. Really? If he is, why hasn't he ruled them out? That would be a big favor to the family. Rule them two out. He's not ruled Seth out. Taking a lot of flack over Seth. Some people says Seth's a loving father. He may be, but as of right now, he's still not ruled out. Now, if you're not ruled out, that means, if you want to look at not ruled out is a nice way of saying you're a possible suspect. I'll put it to you plain.
Okay.
If you're not ruled out of a case, then it's possible suspect.
And if you're a possible suspect, they can't tell you a lot of what's going on.
Why would they?
Then there goes their investigation.
Why would they want to? I'm sitting here holding my cards and you got your cards. You say, tell me what 3 of your cards are. Why? We're playing a game. Why do I want to tell you what my cards are? Mm-hmm. So she can win the game.
It's like a game of chess.
This is not a game to that little boy right there, but this is a game. And like our president says sometimes, who's holding the cards? Sheriff's Department is holding the cards. Why does the Sheriff's Department want to show their hand to somebody that's a possible
suspect?
Doesn't mean they did anything, but it means that they haven't been ruled out. You don't show your hand to somebody that's not been ruled out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't contact us. Call Sheriff's Department, TBI, or the FBI. We're nobodies.
Right.
Thank you for thinking about us. Thank you for offering to. Please, we don't need it. Send anything you got, tell anything you have to the authorities, the proper investigating agency. God wants you to tell the police. Once again, not accusing anyone, no matter how it sounds. We're merely asking questions out loud.
Right.
Guys, in every video we've made, we've said that. And I know some people says, well, you sure sounded like you was accusing Chris. You sure sound like you was accusing Seth. I don't know what it sounds like. I may very well make it sound like that. That may be a strategy. That may be I'm not accusing them. I may be asking a hypothetical. I may have an opinion on something.
Mm-hmm.
To have an opinion or speculate and to actually come out and accuse somebody, two different things. That's when you accuse somebody, that's a pretty strong.
You're saying for sure.
Yeah.
You know that they did this or that. Yeah.
That's a pretty strong
statement.
Guys on Seth, not accusing him at all. But investigations like this, you have to look at everyone. A lot of these people, they heard that conversation between Sheila and I and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, oh, they're friends with Chris. They're friends. Guys, we don't even know Chris.
Yeah.
If you listen to our video from a year ago, we had a couple of videos that we were down there on, and then we done a live.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have a thing called Talking Thursdays. Every Thursday night, we'd go live.
Right.
And we got on there and we took up for Chris, Seth, Katie. We said, guys, as of right now, everybody's innocent. You're innocent till charged or proven guilty, or you plead guilty. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine what it would be like to be treated like that and under the gun. And well, listen, it's now 18 months later. This is 18 months later. Mm-hmm. And the number one suspects that should be ruled out from the beginning, the parents, the guardians, the step parents, so forth, they're still there. You've got these stepping stones. Mm-hmm. And as you go through, you knock this one out, you knock that one out. This didn't happen, that didn't. We've never got past step one.
Right.
And we haven't even got to talk. We shouldn't. We're just, who are we? Who are we? But we're the people that's saying, hey, we'd like to know. We'd like to interview you.
Well, it's just kind of like they would like to know information from the police. They would like to see what's going on there. We would like to know.
Babe, that's
as the
perfect.
public. We, as the public, would like to know.
That is a perfect example. They get mad at the police because the police won't tell them nothing. We're just the general public. We're nobodies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we've got some questions for you that we think we could help you clear things up. You know, an investigator is trying to rule people out as much as find the guilty party. You know, sometimes it's as much about ruling people out as it is finding the guilty party. The more you can rule out, it makes it easier to find the guilty party. Sometimes in the investigation, it's not what somebody says as much as what they don't say sometimes.
Right.
That's hard to believe, but sometimes when you're investigating something and the person doesn't say something that defends themselves or does something, you can take that that's as much of a clue as something else. Mm-hmm. You have to put all these things together. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle, and you put it all together one piece at a time.
Right. Yeah.
Until you get enough evidence that you can say, hey, now, if there's two people here, that's what's, if there's two people involved, two or more, because there's an old saying where two or more are involved, mm-hmm. one will talk.
Yep.
It's the one that gets offered the better deal. Mm-hmm. Just like Felicia and Josh. Mm-hmm. In Jaden's case.
Jaden Spicer.
Josh is charged with conspiracy to commit murder.
Right.
She's charged with murder. Why is that? We don't know. We can speculate, but we talked on the way up there and we said that where two or more is involved, one will talk. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Somebody better get smart. Somebody better take the deal. Well, I used to put people in two different rooms. Go from room to room. Guys, listen. One of you is going to tell us what happened. And one of you is going to walk away, or one of you is going to get a whole lot less time, a better deal mm-hmm. than the other one. Mm-hmm. It's every which one of you wants. Now, sometimes if it was spouses, the one spouse would cover for the other spouse and say, hey, I did it. Wow. Let that one go. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they squealing at each other, or you'd go back into the other room and say, okay, we've got you. You guys did this. Wait a minute. I'm going to tell you. I want to tell you what happened. Too late. Too late, because he's already told us what happened. It's too late now.
So now you get the harsher charge.
Oh, of course. Where two or more are involved, one of them will talk. And it's just like me and you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when me and you went to Jackson looking for Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
Sheila and I had no intentions of getting involved in that case, and we did. 6 days into it, we did. And, you know, Sheila and I talked on the way to Jackson, just like we're talking now. We're driving along and we're talking. The questions that we want to ask Felicia and Josh, if we get to see them. And we started naming off. God puts these questions on our heart.
Yep.
Ask them this, and this. Nobody has talked to those people in 6 days. The police, they gave the initial
report
to.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's talked to them.
Right.
They're not talking to nobody. What made Sheila and I think in our wildest dreams that we were going to get to talk to Felicia and Josh about their son and stepson, Jaden?
Mm-hmm.
What made us think that? The good Lord. We had faith. We got there and went up on the hill, come back down the hill. We wasn't mad because we followed a path to nowhere. The tracks ended. We come back down. We stop. Let's stop here and watch the house for a minute, see if anybody's moving around in there. No, nobody was moving around in there. While we're sitting there watching the house, they pull up. They wasn't even in the house.
Mm-hmm.
They came home. God put us there right at that time to do exactly what we did. When we hollered, come down and talked.
Right.
They knew that we knew that they knew. God does things like that, guys.
He always works it out, guys. He always does what he plans on doing.
But you want to mark people off your list.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, the police still hasn't marked the parents and the stepfather off the list. Why hasn't he been removed? Why hasn't any of them been removed? We don't know. So we have to look at him. We're talking about Seth, where we was talking about the divorce decree and the CPS things in California, and maybe simple investigation techniques. We're not geniuses ourselves. And then I got ahead of myself there, but that's talking about catfishing.
Mm-hmm.
How you skin a catfish.
Different
More
techniques.
than one way.
Mm-hmm.
Different techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Different techniques to work an investigation. You may work an investigation where you're mellow and smooth, and you remember the good cop, bad cop.
Mm-hmm.
My partner and I, we used to do that. One of us was going to put everybody in jail, charge them all. The other one, hey guys, hold on, don't pay no attention to him. We'll work it out. And that's the way you do. A means to an end.
Yeah.
More than one way to skin a catfish, and there's more than one way to run an investigation. And you can change it up. Last video, part 2 yesterday, day before yesterday, whenever it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Pretty heads on, pretty rough, to throw it out there and let people think. Are they even close? Are they even close to what happened? Or are they just gasping at straws? I don't know. The people or person that done this knows.
Mm-hmm.
Is God? Can you feel God? Can you feel whether God is actually telling somebody anything, or are we just pulling out thin air? Because we think God puts it on our heart. Mm-hmm. We think he tells us things so we'll know. And for these people that's acting all innocent on everything, I'm sorry. The evidence is not there. The evidence proves otherwise as far as the CPS reports, teachers, doctors, allegations. We know they're allegations. We're going to discuss some of them here in a minute.
Okay.
Without intentionally insulting, we have to look at everyone. We don't want to insult nobody.
Right.
That's not mine and Sheila's go to insult people. You guys that watch this video that may have anything at all to do, including the parents and the stepfather, and anybody else in that area that may have anything or know anything about this, you know whether you're innocent or guilty.
Right. Right.
Sorry it hurts. I'm sorry it's embarrassing. We are. As a parent, I'm talking to the parents here because the strangers and people that may have abducted or kidnapped or done something else.
Okay.
But the parents, as loving parents and step parents, wouldn't you rather somebody like Sheila and I be questionable and question a person's motives, question a person's past? Because see, somebody asked, said, why would you say that? That was 10 years ago. That's old news because a person's past often predicts their future. If a person has had anger management problems in the past, they probably still have them today. If a person has child abuse problems from the past, they may still have them today. We don't know that, but as a parent, nobody should take offense to that. A real loving parent looking for their child shouldn't take offense and say, I'm so offended. I'm not offended. Go find them, Fred. Go find them, Sheila. Go find them. Bring them home to us. That should be you would think.
Foremost concern.
You would think. What about the private investigators? Guys, here's you a good one. Here's you a good one. What about the private investigators on both sides? Remember now, Chris hired a private investigator. SF investigates. Now, our YouTube channel here is Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures. Look at it. It's passing the screen right now. FS investigates. We come up with that a long time ago because JLR investigates. And when we met him on the Sebastian case, on the couch case, we come up with FS investigates.
Fred and Sheila.
Fred and Sheila. Now, this guy here that Chris hired is SF investigates. He hired a private investigator. You know, somebody was asking, or Chris was saying how he had a investigator certified in 9 states. And I said, that's no big deal. You just pay your fee and you get certified. Not a big deal to get certified in 9 states. But how good is the investigator? We've seen things that we agree with the investigator on. We see things that we don't agree. Just like people that watches our videos and they say, I don't agree with that. I don't agree.
And that's okay.
And that's what we do. Guys, this guy wouldn't be a private investigator if he didn't have some knowledge of how to investigate. Now, let's skip over to Seth. Seth has had at least 2 private investigators. Private investigators, all 3 of you, we're going to throw this at you. Help. Help your local police.
Right.
Help your TBI. You guys have been around these people more than anybody else.
Exactly.
I know you worked for them. I know they paid you. And you probably gave them an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. You never agreed when you took that to be a part of any kind of cover-up, to be a part of any kind of scandal. You agreed to investigate the missing child, Sebastian Rogers. If you in your mind and in your heart think that you've seen anything that stood out, that's out of place, that you think would help the police with this investigation, please, you're not cutting. This is not attorney-client. This is not doctor-patient where you're protected. This is not, it's not it. You guys can speak out. You can tell these guys. Do it anonymously. Call the sheriff. Call the detective. Hey, you may want to look at this. You may want to. Guys, Sebastian needs your help.
Yes, he does.
I'd much rather remember these private investigators as telling the truth and doing what's right than I would just from taking the pay and that's what they're for. They've hired them to sometimes. Now let me explain to you something about my position and what I've seen in life is sometimes people hire private investigators to actually find the person.
Right.
Sometimes they hire private investigators to track down stolen property or this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they hire private investigators for that report. Sometimes they hire the private investigator where they can say, yep, I found this and I found that. And it goes in correspondence with their employer. They give the employer the report that they want to have. They agree with them. That's possible. I've known private investigators that was actually retired police officers or FBI and actually polygraphers where they give polygraphs.
Okay.
And they'll carry their little suitcase around and they'll set their suitcase up and give their own client a polygraph. The guys hired them to investigate something and they'll give them, and then the person says, I passed my polygraph. Yeah, I passed it. They passed the polygraph with a person. And even though former law enforcement, after I got out of law enforcement, I've seen a lot. I go to Fred McCoy 40, and you'll see a channel on bad police officers that I post.
Okay.
We got to do something about bad police officers. They're out there and they're becoming more common every day, along with the administrators and the commissioners and the sheriffs and the chiefs. We've got to do something. We've got to reel them back in, bring them back to protect and serve. But I'm getting off the thing here. But these private investigators would give a polygraph and say, yeah, I passed my polygraph. I've done it all. Who'd you pass it with? Was it a law enforcement agency or was it somebody that you paid? I think it used to be $2,000 the last I remember. I don't know what it is now to take a polygraph to pay for yourself.
Right.
But if you're paying for something yourself, and I hate to say this, but guys, it's just the way life is. If you're paying for something yourself, is the person more apt to, if the line's here, the line's there, it's which way is he going to lean it?
Mm-hmm.
You know it.
So at the end of the polygraph, does the person who's giving it, does he give his opinion of it or something?
Sheila, not always. Police departments don't always do that.
Okay.
I've heard people say, I passed a polygraph. A polygraph is only as good as the examiner.
Right.
And if is the person on any kind of drugs, is the person a professional liar? Is he a professional manipulator? Is he?
Mm-hmm.
That has a play in it. Now they say, oh, we can adjust, we can do. I don't know. I'm not a polygrapher, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I was just wondering.
But it's only as good as the examiner, and it's only as good as the examiner wants to be. A lot of police departments never tells the person whether they pass or fail. Did you come out
That's what I was.
more telling the truth than you did not telling the truth, and so forth?
Mm-hmm.
The questions, the dingers, did you respond to a question that was one of the
Telltale signs.
telltale signs? Thank you, babe.
So, again, this is just me. But after you do a polygraph, do they take it to the police department or?
Well, the police department does it.
I know
Like
it's
here
the
in-
one of,
Here in Kentucky, you go to the Kentucky State Police Lab, one of the
Okay.
labs across the state.
and they put that in your
And
file or in the
they'll
case.
they'll do and then they'll give the officers, they'll tell the officer, the investigating detective,
Mm-hmm.
how they thought the person did. Is he holding back? Is he this? We took a guy one time, 3 times for polygraph, and all 3 times he was taking drugs. He was taking Xanax and Prozac and all this different things to try to calm his. You're going to get, the readings was all over the place. He thought it was going to make them, but it gives false readings when it should have been good, and good readings when it should have been bad. It's so you can't depend on drugs. Again, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
These guys know all that. These guys that take, I think it takes like 400 hours to become a certified polygrapher.
Okay.
But
Just curious.
it's another element to the investigation that you can use. But when you hear people, they could also hold the key. The private investigators could also hold the key to this case. Those 3, at least 3 private investigators could hold the key to knowing what to tell the police to ask.
Something simple.
You've been with them. You've been with the parents. You've been with the stepfather. You've been with you is there a certain thing, if you was an investigator as a police officer or a detective, what would you like to, if you were on the other side, if this wasn't your client here and he's telling you or she's telling you this, was there ever a question while you were talking to that person and you're thinking, whoa, what did they just say? Did they just let something out? Because when you talk fast, when you get to talking and you get so cocky and you get so sure of yourself, sometimes you slip. Sometimes you slip. And that's a telltale sign. That's called a clue in police work. Private detectives, private investigators, you'd be our newest heroes. They could be such a help to this case. Okay, guys, you did the work for your client, but now it's done. Did you uncover any inconsistencies, discrepancies, slip-ups? You know if you did or not. You know if you did. You can be loyal to them and say, well, I don't want to do that because I won't get no more jobs. Nobody else will hire me. The good Lord knows. The good Lord knows. You owe it to Sebastian.
There you go.
And God, look here. Thank you, babe. And God may be testing you.
Yeah, you never know.
Just what I just now said. God may know. And Sheila's, God may be testing you. Do the right thing. Please talk to law enforcement if something's wrong. Even the slightest little thing that you picked up on that you think may help. Jot it down in a note. If you don't want to give up your credentials or something like that, I think it's great credentials. I think it's honesty and integrity and character. Things, all the things that money can't buy. That's what that would be. Exactly. If a private investigator picked up on something, what, babe?
That's exactly right. That would be more to your beneficial credibility than it would be ratting somebody out or whatever.
I agree. I agree. It's not turncoat. It's the right thing to do. So many things that may have helped police solve this case and bring Sebastian home or his remains. Or his remains. Where two or more know, one will talk. Not got interview, so we'll have to evaluate with other interviews. They've never talked to us other than on the phone. We used to think it was Chris. We now think that Katie is in charge. We think Katie is in charge. We think Katie's got a mind of her own. If she don't want to talk, she don't talk. Now, again, the only thing I'll point out about Katie and her interviews is Katie talks in sentences. I miss them. I'd like to smell of them. Oh, Lord, I'd probably fall if he come in the door. Nothing wrong with that, guys. That doesn't make Katie guilty.
Right.
I'm sorry if I implied that it does. It doesn't. What would be suspicious there if Katie talks like Fred McCoy normally, ba 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 ba, and then all of a sudden she's been interviewed, and if he come in that door,
I'd bulldoze him.
I would bulldoze him down
with hugs.
And you've got this slow, thoughtful questioning and answering where you have time to pick and choose your words. If you're ever questioning Fred McCoy, interrogating Fred, and Fred goes, I'll tell you what, I was coming down the road the other day and that car pulled out in front of me, and I'll tell you, oh, well, did you have your shoes on? Well, I got out of the car. You got my point, guys. It's all in who knows these people and how their regular demeanor is and how they're acting when they're questioned by YouTubers or the media or the police. Not got interviews, so we can't go by a lot. We haven't got to interview them. We would like to.
That's okay.
We're nobody special and don't want to act like we are. But we got somebody we think that goes with us. We got to help her, and we honestly believe that, and we just believe that we would know We wouldn't come out and accuse them. We wouldn't make a video on it. We wouldn't until something that we didn't make a video on Felicia and Josh. We knew that they were not telling us the truth.
Right.
We may meet with Chris and Katie and Seth, and we may think that's three of the most honest people we've ever met in our life. Why haven't they removed them from the list? Sheila, I believe everything they said.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah. We would be puzzled.
We could be like that.
Right. Right.
We're not. We wouldn't go into an interview saying, oh, they're going to be. No, we would much rather they're not. And then say, okay, guys, get over here to the side. You're out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We won't be bothering you all no more. We got to go find out who got Sebastian.
Right.
We can't do that because nobody's talked to us. Chris says the best part of Sebastian's disappearance is he managed to do it without any evidence whatsoever. Now, Chris is talking, and he says he's just a simple autistic child missing. Play that, Sheila, if you would.
Okay.
We'll let you hear it. And you guys draw your own conclusion. Again, could be as innocent as...
Yeah, the wording and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so simple that it's probably a very boring case if you took away all the crap. It's just a simple, we have a 15-year-old autistic child that is missing. And unfortunately, the best part about it is he has managed to do this without any evidence left behind whatsoever.
No evidence whatsoever. What did we say at the beginning? Mostly on every one of our videos. Every whodunit's home free. As of right now in our book. Now, we don't know what TBI's got.
Right.
We don't know what Sumner County Sheriff's that's got. But what we got, what we see, every whodunit this is home free. Except for God.
Right.
Except for their conscience.
So, yeah.
That's it. That's what we're playing on. We're playing and believing that these people have a conscience, or this person
A heart.
and they're going to say, wow, this is harder than I thought it would be. This is not, I can't go through life living like this. It doesn't matter if I got away with it or not. I know it happened.
Yeah.
And guys, there's people that's got conscience like that.
No rest. Just,
I used to work, and I go into this a lot and wrote books on it. We don't have no books available. I wasn't even going down this path, but there they are. Corruption Has No Boundaries, Volume 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That right there is a FBI agent, former FBI, and that's his girlfriend. He got her pregnant. She was going to tell his wife, and he killed her.
yeah.
He killed her.
Yeah.
He threw her over an old mining road up in Pike County where Sheila and I grew up. He threw her over the hill, and she'd been there for a year and a half, 2 years. Nothing left but her skull, a couple of teeth, her necklace. Took her clothes off of her, rode her over a hill.
Yeah.
After he killed her.
Yeah.
FBI agent. He's the one of the agents that we went to, myself and my partner, we was both detectives. We went to on a corrupt sheriff, Commonwealth attorney, criminal justice system, and revealed that to them. And they were investigating corruption in our county. Turns out somebody fixed them up with a old country girl, and he made a mistake. He killed her, and then he panicked.
Yeah.
And he threw her over the hill. Now, he's home free. The FBI, rather than face the music and look at this pregnancy report that she'd been showing everybody around town, I'm pregnant, by Mark Putnam. We've been dating, we've been doing this, that, and it was confirmed. Rather than interviewing him or setting him down, the state police looked the other way. State police looked the other way. The FBI transferred him out of Pike County, Kentucky to Miami, Florida. Had it made. Miami, Florida. Him and his wife, 2 children. He's home free. She's dead. Coyotes ate her. Birds ate her. Nothing left. They would have never found her because 2 weeks after, something like that, after he turned it over, They were going to come in there and put a new road in. They dozed over where she was laying out. She would have never been found. They was dozing the road over. This agent, after we turned the sheriff in, we went public. We went to the news media. We had no choice. After they transferred the FBI agent out, we thought, that's why I say don't pay a lot of attention to my detective skills, because wasn't too smart. But we thought they actually transferred the FBI agent because he was getting too close to arresting the sheriff and judges and prosecutor and so forth. And we thought that's why they transferred him. No, they transferred him because he'd killed this girl.
Wow.
How'd they find her? Conscience. Nothing but a conscience. After we turned the sheriff in publicly, we went public and telling about going to the FBI and the FBI transferring this agent to Miami. And then come to find out, now they decide, well, we don't want this agent going free, this Commonwealth attorney. The Commonwealth attorney protecting the sheriff and himself. He said, we got to investigate Mark Putnam. We got to find out where Susan Smith is. Google it. There's been movies on it. And he starts inquiring as to how Mark Putnam, what he do with this informant. I know we're getting off topic, but this is going to prove my point. And when they went to Mark Putnam and asked him, in fact, myself and Paul Hatfield, at this time, when we turned the sheriff in, we went to Miami, Florida, where he was at, and gave him a briefcase, more tapes that we had of the sheriff and other ones. And when they called him on the radio in Miami, and they said, come by the office. Hatfield McCoy's here to see you. And he said, what? And they said, yeah. They said, is that their real names from Kentucky? And he said, yeah, they're part of the real McCoy's, Hatfields. And he said all the way to the office. He thought Paul and I had come down there to arrest him for killing Susan Smith. We didn't even, we thought that was a rumor. Mark, on the other hand, after we left, they went down and questioned him. Now we got to discredit Mark Putnam, so the sheriff and the Commonwealth attorney and these people can go free. Now we got to discredit anything. In fact, the FBI told us in a meeting, U.S. Attorney's Office, we're not going to pursue any case that Mark Putnam had anything to do with, or Ron Poole. It's too embarrassing to the FBI, was their words. We gave up our whole career at that time, our jobs, and they don't want to pursue it because it was too embarrassing to the FBI. Sad, but true. Long story short, Mark Putnam started thinking about what he'd done. He said he'd lost so much weight, 50 pounds of weight. He wasn't eating. He had diarrhea all the time. He just could not. He would go to sleep and he would see Susan Smith's face. Guilt was killing him. Guilt, his conscience was killing him. He goes and meets with an attorney in Miami that the FBI fixed him up with, a defense attorney, and he tells him what happened. And he calls the Commonwealth attorney in Pikeville and says, I have a man that knows where Susan Smith is at. He can give you her body, her remains back, but I want a deal. We want a deal on his sentence. And they agreed to sentence him to 16 years, and he'd served 10, and he did. He's out now, lives in Lincolnton, Georgia, I believe it is. And he told them where Susan Smith's remains were. They went and got them. So that's how a conscience can work on you. If you think that I don't know what I'm talking about when I try to put these guilt trips on people, it's not really a guilt trip from Fred or Sheila.
Right.
This is a guilt trip from God. This is how God works within us. What is simple about a missing child? See how Chris may be as pure as the driven snow, but that's what things you would look for. This is just a simple 16-year-old autistic child missing. Guys, there's nothing simple about any child missing. Nothing simple about it. And then the fact that he says, no evidence. No evidence.
The best part, I think he said.
The best part.
Yeah.
That would be the worst part of it. The worst part of it is there's no leads. There's no evidence whatsoever that we can find.
Yeah. I thought that was strange.
The best part of it is there's no evidence.
He could have meant that sarcastically, but still.
It could have meant anything.
Yeah.
We're not judging. Again, we're not judging. We hope people's got conscience in case that does.
Mm-hmm.
That can have a play in people's lives.
Yeah.
That could have a play, and I'm sure it does with with a sheriff's detective or the sheriff. Now, you take that right there alone, that's probably nothing.
Right.
But you take that and 5 or 10 other statements or comments, and you put all them together.
They start adding up.
And you may have circumstantial evidence.
Mm-hmm.
You may have enough may have to really work to.
Yeah.
And then again, you may have enough for circumstantial to file charges. And then you get that person in a room and you say, here's the deal. What happened? Who done it? All I done was help. All I done was I'm not talking about, I'm on a different topic, even though we was just talking about Chris.
Right. You're not saying
referring
him.
to Chris. I'm saying anybody. Somebody could say, look at Josh.
Mm-hmm.
All I done was help bury Sebastian. All I done is drove Sebastian to where we were going to bury him at. All I done was put him in the tote.
Jaden.
Yeah. Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
All I done.
That's why maybe he was charged with just conspiracy, right? Or
yeah. Did he make a deal with somebody?
Mm-hmm.
All we can do without them answering our questions is speculate and and I give our opinion. What was yours and Katie's involvement with Sebastian's disappearance? See, that was, we're never going to get to talk to him now. We realize that. We finally come to the decision
that's okay.
Realization that God is going to solve this in another manner. He's not, we won't be. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Sheila and I don't care if we have nothing to do with nothing. In fact, we're so stressed out over when we do these, this is not like a YouTuber that's making a video. We'd rather be out here on the lake or filming something fun and happy. We're retired.
Relaxing.
When we do this is stressful. This is because we get so wrapped up in it. And even though we're praying and God's leading us, we're still human.
That's right.
We still have human emotions and get aggravated or get what was yours and Katie's. But if we ever did have got to interview Chris and Katie, we were going to ask them, what was your involvement, guys? What did you guys do with Sebastian? See, we're not police officers.
Right.
We're not the sheriff. We don't have to run for re-election. We don't have to keep everybody happy. We don't have to worry about, again, Sheila and I don't have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out. We don't have to worry about being sued. We have nothing. And if you're sued, you file bankruptcy if you do have anything, so you still don't have nothing. We're not concerned. That's why we say, if you're not happy with something, let everything get done. Find Sebastian, then sue whoever you want, but don't scare people off with lawsuits. What was yours and Katie's involvement with Sebastian? We would ask Seth the same thing. What was your involvement? Seth, we know you're at work.
Right.
We know you're on video camera. We know you're on the clock. Who's some people? Who's some good friends of yours? Did you have any animosity toward Chris and Katie and you wanted to get Sebastian away from there, or you wanted to get them in trouble at the same time? The resentment is so much that you wanted to not only get Sebastian out there, you wanted to cause them havoc, because this will definitely cause parents havoc.
Definitely.
They can attest to that.
Yeah.
And especially if they're innocent.
Yeah.
Did another family member help you with the disappearance of Sebastian? We're not going to ask them, did you have anything to do with his disappearance? No. Did you do? No. Yes, no. We're not going to do that. We want to see you when we ask you these questions. We're never going to get to ask them.
Yeah.
Did you have any help getting rid of Sebastian or doing anything with him? We're not accusing. That was just some of our questions.
Right.
How long did you stay on the phone with Katie for the entire 3 hours or so drive from Memphis? that morning? Did you and Katie stay on the phone the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
And if you did, what did you talk about? All the way home, is that all you talked about was Sebastian, where he went, where
Right.
he was at last night, what happened when you come home? Is that all you talked about over and over and over in your mind and helps remember? Did you talk about going on vacation? Did you talk about, okay, I checked on them tires for the trailer and they'll be in next week. I forgot to tell you that. We'll talk about it later, but the tires for the trailer come in. I checked on the campsite. We're booked for next week. Does these questions mean anything to anybody? Probably not. Did you discuss your RV or vacation or anything else whatsoever on the drive home, not related to Sebastian's disappearance? Would that make a person guilty or not guilty? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's just a question we had. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's the question. It's not what the answer is.
Right.
You're not looking for the answer. You don't even care what the answer. It's when you ask the question and that person
reaction.
I starts twitching because they're thinking, what are they asking this for?
Yeah, what's that? Uh-huh.
What are they asking this question for? What are they getting to? What do they know?
Right.
We don't know nothing. We'll go ahead and tell you we don't know nothing. That was just a question.
Yeah.
Why does anyone suspect the parents? Because 50% of children that disappear, over 50%, are from a guardian or parent. And especially parents who have custody battles in the past or present or past Child Protective Service referrals.
Okay.
You know, some people says you shouldn't, and we're not, guys. Even right now, Chris and Katie and Seth may be as innocent as the driven snow. We have no proof that they have done anything
right
with Sebastian.
Exactly.
And we're not alleging that at all. Do we have questions? Of course. You just heard some of them.
Yeah.
Them was pretty direct questions that implicated maybe you know something about the disappearance of your son. Are we saying you do? We're not. We're asking a question to see a physical, not just a verbal, but a physical response. Let's see how God works on you if you're telling a fib. Because you can lie to us.
Right.
You can't lie to God.
God knows everything, so it doesn't matter what you say or do here on earth. He knows it. So
tell us about you being in Hendersonville the night before playing cards. Was you? We don't know that.
Right.
See, that would have been a question. Was you in Hendersonville the night before playing cards with poker with a bunch of friends or something? Mm-hmm. Was you actually there? We don't know if he was or not. That would have been a question like on a polygraph where you would ask a controlled question just to see the response of when you get to another. Someday, some say Seth got upset when Chris whipped Sebastian. Had Seth been CPS free, a person could put more stock in what Seth thought.
Yeah.
You know, again, going back to Seth, we don't know him from Adam neither. Don't know neither one of these guys. But everybody says, go to Seth, tell Seth, do that. And we said, well, Seth, according to Katie, had CPS on him in California for slapping or hitting. She didn't say slap. She said for hitting Sebastian on the head in front of a teacher that the teachers called. She says the doctors filed referrals. The teachers, when Seth went to school to talk to the teachers, they wanted the principal in there with them. They didn't feel comfortable. I'm telling you what Katie says. It's all in the allegations. Doesn't mean we believe it or don't believe it. We know what people going through a divorce on both sides can say. And she may very well said that. Is there any proof that the doctor did set up PTSD appointments for therapy, that the teachers did call social workers? Katie says all was good when they got home that night. But let's go back to Seth. Because, see, had Seth never had social workers called on him,
Mm-hmm.
Child Protective Services, and he was clean cut, nothing. Not clean cut. I don't care about the hair, anything
You're
else.
talking about his background or
Talking
whatever.
about his background. If he had a clean background,
Mm-hmm.
we would say, well, throw the father out. Father ain't got nothing to do with it. But how can you do that? He's got referrals to social services the same as Chris. The same. We're going to come back to it. We're going to show you some proof in a minute. Katie says all was good when they got home that night.
Mm-hmm.
That he went to his room, told him to go to bed. What if she's not telling the truth? Can say anything she wants. Was he in the room when she heard a noise? Is that a fib? Was that made up? She says they come home from eating. He went to his room, and then she said, okay, it's time to go to bed. Okay, love you. Love the dog and cats and pigeons and
Puppies
whatever
or
else.
whatever. Yeah. Puppies. I think they had puppies.
Puppies and I don't know what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. Okay. Guys, nobody's there but Katie.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who's there. Nobody said this but Katie. That's Katie's words.
Right.
Guys, Fred McCoy has got a whole head full of hair. I just told you that.
Right.
If you didn't know me and you're sitting there looking at me, I'm telling you, I've got a whole head full of hair. I got it cut in a buzz cut. I got it cut in a flat top.
High and tight.
High and tight.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, baby. I just lied to you. I just lied to you. How much stock do you put in what somebody tells you?
Right.
She says that she told him to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do we know any of that is the truth? How do we know? We don't. We know what she's telling us,
Mm-hmm.
but Chris or Seth,
Mm-hmm.
Seth and a lot of these people that know things, they say she lied on that paper out in California. She lied on that domestic violence request.
Mm-hmm.
She lied. Well, there's an old saying, if I lie to you about one thing, I'll lie to you about something else. If she lied, see, we've never seen that disposition on that EPO, Seth.
Right.
If somebody can get us that, we would appreciate it. Was that EPO paper that she filed with all those allegations in California,
Mm-hmm.
was that founded and the judge implemented a domestic violence order and said, you got to stay away from Katie and Sebastian?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it not? And he dismissed it. Which was it? Because if he found it valid and he invoked an EPO, emergency protective order or domestic violence order, then that means he must have believed what Katie said.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't, then that must believe what Seth said in his. Guys, I've been out of it for about 7 years now, and I forget the response in his response to those allegations. If she fibbed about that down there, would she fib about he was in his room? And we don't know. We don't know.